Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Better Club. I am your host, the Better Thinking Coach, Lachelle Weemy. You guys, I am so stinking excited to be here inside of the Better Club where all of us are on a mission to help one another be better, do better, and have better in life and in business. So if you are somebody who just knows that you have it on your heart to become the best version of yourself and you want to start to think better so that you can actually perform all the things that you feel like you're put on this earth to do, and therefore can do better and provide better things for your family, provide better services for the people that you care about, and ultimately have better in your life and have better in your legacy, then you are exactly where you need to be. So I wanted to say welcome to all of you guys who are tuning in live inside of the Better Club Facebook group. So, hey guys, so glad that you're here. Also wanted to say hello to all of the people who are watching live on our YouTube channel, which is the Better Club inside of YouTube. You guys, it is so much fun to be able to have everybody here and really working together to create that life of our dreams, right? So tonight we are going to talk all about ways that we can retrain our brain to show up with more confidence. And so if you've been following along here inside the Better Club, you recognize that we've been on a series of several weeks now that we literally are designing our best belief. We're designing our best belief so that we can show up in our business and create the life that we are longing for, right? But we also have recognized, right, that if we don't have the belief in ourselves specifically, we are not going to show up. We're not going to show up and have the discipline to actually do the things that we need to do to create that life, nor are we going to show up with the courage that we need to do that maybe feels a little out of our comfort zone. When we have that ability to believe in ourselves, when we build up that confidence, we can show up in ways that are going to give us the courage. We're going to show up in ways that allow for the discipline to just naturally fall into place. Can I get an amen? Like, wouldn't that feel amazing to know that you just are in stride with your goals? You are in stride with everything that you need to do to show up to make this life happen, right? And so we are going to tackle some things that you can do inside of your mindset, inside of the brain, to retrain your brain to work better, more efficiently, more effortlessly, so that you can build that confidence up. All right. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, I got to start out by just saying that I really believe that if we can start to unlock some of the root causes really inside of our mind that are keeping us stuck in business, we can start to show up with confidence and clarity and level up in our business. And when we level up in our business, you guys, we level up in our lives. I've also recognized that when we can start to take our business to the next level, we also can show up in better ways in our own life, right? So if you find that you have been stuck in all kinds of different ways, not just in your business. Maybe it's in your weight and your wellness. Maybe it's in relationships. You're stuck in different ways. If we can really start to think about ways that we can retrain our brain and retrain our mind and retrain the way that we think, you can show up better in all of those different places in life. Like, how amazing does that feel, right? And I think all of us really want that. We want to feel like we're stepping up and not wasting the life that we have, not wasting the days, not wasting the years, and really don't want to live a life full of regret. Okay. So let's start tonight with just giving us the permission to step into that life and giving us ourselves the permission to build the confidence that it takes. Now, if you are brand new to the platform, I wanted to just remind you that we have lots of videos over the last several weeks that talk about building belief in your industry so that you are showing up, building belief in the products or the company that you're with, and also building belief in yourself that you are capable. You feel like you're capable of doing it. You feel like you have what it takes to show up, right? I also talked to you guys last week about the power of things like affirmations that allow you to essentially retrain your brain in that way. There's a lot of nerdy science stuff that I tried to bring down and make it really fun so that you can see that there are ways to do things more efficiently and effectively. So tonight, we're going to talk about retraining your brain again, and I am going to be focusing everything around really like what we're exposing ourselves to. But first, I'm going to share a little story. So I just got back from the beach, and you guys, I went to Destin, Florida, with the Ignited Life Coaching Program. It's part of the Gold Digger Girl brand, and I went through an entire year's training to become a certified coach through them. And we had our kind of like send off and retreat, personal development retreat down in Destin. Now, you guys, I stayed in this amazing, amazing, amazing mansion by the beach. And it was beautiful. And there were beautiful mansions lined up everywhere and people that were stepping up into the future versions of themselves. And I got to say that being around other people that think like I think, being around other people who value personal development, value growth, value service, value impact are people that I want to be around. And I was able to get some more clarity myself. I was able to build confidence myself. I was able to find more people to enter into my tribe. And that's what I want to say is the first thing that I want to have you recognize. Who are you exposing yourself to in your inner circle? Because you'll be amazed at how much your inner circle is impacting the way that you view yourself and the way that you can build your business. Okay, so here's an example. Let's just say that you work for a family of people, or you have a family of people that have always been taught, you go to work and you do your job for 40 years and then you retire and hopefully you're healthy enough to enjoy your life. You go to college first, you get that job, and there's no thinking outside the box in that space, right? So here you are coming into this entrepreneurial world around people who don't understand what it's like. They would rather take the pension and the benefits and be miserable and counting down the days. And I have people in my life that were like this. They counted down the days until they could retire. They were miserable every single day until they could finally retire, and now they just kind of sit around, right? Or they still complain. And so there's people who literally I work with that do they count down the days till they're done. And you guys, I don't think that that's a life that we want to live, right? Like, we're here inside the Better Club because we want better. We want better for ourselves, and we want more than just settling. But when you're surrounded by coworkers who don't understand, you're surrounded by family who don't understand, their unbelief is going to spread to you like a virus. And I got to tell you that I want you to listen to me, and I want you to listen to this more than once if you have to, okay? More often than not, people in your circle that aren't supporting you are not doing it because they don't believe that you're capable of it, okay? Their unbelief in themselves and their doubt in themselves and their lack of confidence in themselves is projected onto you. They don't think that they have what it takes to do it. They don't have the courage to step out of their comfort zone. They don't have the courage to take the risk. Therefore, they just project their own insecurities onto you. Why? For two reasons. Number one, they truly believe that you're going to fail, not because you personally are going to fail because of who you are. They think you're going to fail because they would fail, or they think they would fail. Therefore, their thinking is that they're protecting you by trying to talk you out of something foolish, by not supporting you because it seems foolish, okay? The other reason that people oftentimes don't support us in these goals is because they are afraid that you're going to leave them behind. And I know that that's probably a really maybe new concept that you've never really thought of. But when people don't support our dreams and our aspirations, oftentimes it means that they are insecure enough in themselves that they feel like you're going to just go off on this fancy new life and you're going to not need them anymore, that you're not going to want them around anymore. And so therefore, whether it be consciously or unconsciously, are trying to sabotage your goals because they want you to stay put in the exact place that they know you. They want you to stay in their comfortable space because that's what makes them comfortable, right? And so you're going to possibly be around people that don't see it. And maybe they just have programming deep inside of their unconscious mind that has said that entrepreneurs is that too risky and that you have to have an education, you have to have a job. And so their worldview really is impacted by the lens in which they look at the world based on their programming that they've had from their family, from their surroundings, their inner circle. So they can't even conceptualize what it would be like to do what it is that you're doing. Now, sometimes their unsupport can come across as just being uninterested, right? Like they're not asking you questions about how things are going. They don't seem interested in what it is that you're doing. They're not engaging with your stuff on social media. Those kind of things that can feel really unsupported, right? They also might not be willing or offering to share what it is that you're doing with other people. That can feel like that's being unsupported, right? And then there's that next level of people, God bless them, right? But they're the ones who are vocal in telling you that you're crazy. They're the ones who make fun of you for posting on Facebook about your business. They're the ones who comment and do rude, snide remarks inside of your comment or inside of your Facebook posts. And they're the ones who are projecting their negativity onto you. Now, I want you to take a moment and take inventory of the kind of people that you're surrounding yourself with. Are most of the people that you're with on a daily basis, most of the conversations that you're having, are they with people that I've just described? Are they the ones that are going to stay miserable but stable in their job that is unfulfilling? Are they the ones who are going to make fun of other people for stepping out and doing things that are different? Are they the ones who just don't want to see anybody else happy? Those people exist too, right? And so we are greatly influenced and impacted by the 5 people that we spend the most time with. And if you're finding that your coworkers, your family, your friends are not the people that you need to be around in order to create the healthy environment for yourself, that healthy mindset that helps you believe that anything that you want to do is possible, that help you believe in yourself and tell you that you're amazing, that encourage you, that lift you up, that tell you that you're doing a great job when you're feeling like you're stumbling, that help you redirect yourself when you do hit a roadblock, that help you to build the confidence in yourself. If they're not that group of people, then you need to find the kind of people to fill your inner circle with that are going to do that, right? You have to find people that are going to allow you to be your authentic self, who are going to allow you to be imperfect and stumble and fall, but are also willing to see the potential in you and to cheer you up and to raise you up in order to become the person that they know that you can be because they believe in you 100%. Now, I am so grateful that I have chosen to surround myself with the right people that are going to allow me to think that I'm capable of anything. Now, that is not easy, guys, because there are people all around me that I love dearly that aren't thinking in that way. Okay. And so I get to choose to have boundaries around who I get to spend my time with. You can spend time with your family. You can spend time with negative Nancy, Aunt Nancy, right? You can spend time with people at work, but perhaps you can guard your time. You can have boundaries around your time, and you choose to let the right people into your inner circle. You choose to listen to the right people. You choose to open up and share your dreams with the right people. Now, there also are ways that you can navigate and create your social media around who that kind of person is so that you can attract those people into your life. And I got to tell you that some of the most important people in my life have come into my life through my business and through the internet. Like one of my very best friends, I have only met in person once. And so I got to tell you that it's possible. And so what you put out into the world can actually attract the right things, but you have to be consciously intentional about doing that. Okay. And the other thing that I have to say is when it comes to exposing and when it comes to people is creating a space for you to learn from as many people as possible to see what is possible. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that you have to put yourself into the ability to hear and listen to people who have gone ahead of you and have shown you that it works. Okay. So what I mean by that, when I started my first network marketing company, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I had 200 friends on Facebook. Like I was on any other platforms. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. If I posted anything at all, it was the occasional inspirational quote and edited pictures of my kids because I was a photographer at the time. So only if they were edited and cute, right, would I post anything. And I didn't know anything about sales. I didn't know anything about the industry that even that I was partnering with. And so I had to tune in. And now one of the things that was such a blessing is that every single Sunday night, the company had a training that I got a chance to listen to. And back then we didn't have, fancy video calls. We had phone calls, and I could listen in to either live or the replays. And every week I would tune in to hear a different person's story. And they would share their story about how they got started. They would share their story about their background, and they would share what they were doing in their business that was working well. And they wanted to just spread the wealth. Okay. What I was doing while I was listening, not only was I writing down what they were telling me to do because I was a student of the industry, right? I went to school for anesthesia for many, many years. Now this was kind of my school to learn how to be a really, really good network marketer, right? So I was listening to the tips, but also what I was doing was listening to their stories. And I was picking up that these people were not anything extraordinary. They were regular people like me. They were people who were teachers. They were people who were stay-at-home moms. They were people who, were doctors and lawyers. Like there was all kinds of things that were showing up at a variety of ways. I was also noticing that it didn't matter if they were young or if they were old, if they had kids, if they didn't, if they were educated, if they weren't. It didn't matter. What I was hearing is that these people just had a vision for themselves, that they knew that they wanted better for their lives, and they were choosing to show up every single day. They were choosing to be a student of the industry, and they were choosing to be coachable. Okay. And so when these people told me their stories and I was listening and I was hearing myself in their stories. And I was seeing myself in what they were doing. And I was thinking to myself, if they can do it, so can I. If he can do it, if she can do it, why not me? And allowing myself to be exposed to people who were showing me the way were allowing me to start putting myself into that place, into that mindset, and exposing myself to people that were in my inner circle. Hence, the training that I was listening to was exposing me to things that were good for me and good for my mindset and good for my confidence and good for my belief. So even if you don't have somebody in your inner circle yet, you can still attract them on social media. I promise you that. But you can find people to listen to. Maybe you can find a podcast that you love. Maybe you can find training. We also had training that we could show up every single day. And it was somebody doing the exact same thing, sharing their story, sharing their tips. And all I kept doing was consistently noticing that these people were just like me. And so start exposing yourself to successful people. Do not compare yourself. Do not compare their front door to your back door while you're still learning. But what I want you to do is show yourself that you have the mindset that they're paving the way. They're showing you that it's possible. And use that as inspiration to help you see that you are capable of it. Okay? Now, the next thing that I want to do is expose you to another way of thinking about exposing. So this is my third tip on exposing yourself to things that are going to allow for you to retrain your brain. Okay. The next one is looking for evidence. Okay. Looking for evidence. What do I mean by that? If I were to tell you right now that the next time you go to work, I want you to look for all the red cars on the highway. I'm sure you've heard this example. And you've maybe never ever noticed the red cars, but now all of a sudden on your way to work, you notice them everywhere. And you're like, what the heck, right? It's because you're focusing on something specific. And oftentimes what happens on our confidence journey is we focus on all the ways that we suck. We focus on all the ways that we feel like we're falling short of other people. We focus on all the things that we're doing wrong. We focus on the gap between where we are and where we want to be versus where we are from where we were, right? This is the gain. This is the gain. Where we started to where we are now is everything that we've accomplished. But oftentimes we compare ourselves from where we are now to where we want to be. And we just consider the gap, where we're falling short, where we're not leveling up, where we're not measuring up, why we're not good enough. Right? And all of that stuff, when we look for ways that we suck, when we look for ways that we're not good enough, when we look for ways that we're not as good as somebody else who's making it better, who's making it faster, who's doing it better. When we focus on that, you guys, that's what we're going to see. You have to expose yourself to a focused mindset in which you are looking for evidence to prove that you do have what it takes. You're looking for evidence to prove that you did have a win today. I did this in a courageous moment that I didn't know I could do. I did this and it showed me that I can be disciplined and I can be consistent. I did this and it shows me that I am coachable, that I can talk to somebody because somebody helped me with that. And I have proven to myself that I'm coachable, right? I can look at this and say, oh my gosh, look at where my social media started and look at how many followers I have now. I can look at it and say, this is what my first paycheck was, but wow, look at what it is now. I can look at it like I was so nervous to post on social media before, but I'm doing it and look at me now. I'm not as scared anymore. I can actually push the live button. I can actually get into DMs and talk to people about my business now. I did my first conversation today. I invited people to my first event. When you can start looking for evidence to prove that you are on the right track, just like the red car, if you only look for the bad, that's what you're going to see. When you look for evidence to show you that you are in progress, that you are making progress, that you are getting to where you need to be one small win at a time, you're going to start noticing that. And you guys, that's what builds confidence. Confidence does not come from feeling all of the confidence and doing it. No, 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 no. Confidence comes from a brief moment of courage in which you show up and do something scary. And then you prove to yourself that you didn't die and that it wasn't quite as bad as you thought. And you show up a little bit next time with a little bit more courage and you do it again. And then you show up with a little bit more courage and you do it again. And you show up a little bit more courage and you do it again. And what that does is it shows you that you are capable. It shows you progress. It shows you perseverance. And each time you show up with courage, you're building skills. You guys, you're building skills, which means that the next time you show up, you're going to be a little bit better. And as you continue to show up and as you keep persevering and as you keep getting more skills, you're going to create more opportunities for yourself. And those opportunities are going to allow for you to have a little bit more confidence, going to show up a little bit more perseverance. You're going to get a little bit more skill, which automatically will lead to a little bit more opportunity. And you're going to notice that you're going to start seeing results. But it did not start with confidence, friends. It started with a little bit of courage. You cannot build that unless you show up with courage. So I want you guys to start looking for evidence of courage. I want you to start looking for evidence of those tiny little wins and let them build your confidence up. Okay? So those are my 3 tips tonight that I wanted to share with you guys about how you can start retraining your brain and build that confidence. So number 1 was to look for the people in your life that are going to be a positive influence as far as your inner circle, right? Who are you surrounding yourself with? The tip number 2 was looking for people to show you the way, looking for people who know what to do and they can inspire you because they're showing you it's possible and they're showing you that if they can do it, so can you. And my 3rd tip again was to start looking for evidence that is indicating to you that you are on the right track. Okay. Now, you guys, I hope this helps. And I wanted to say that I didn't say this before, but I have a really, really fun special announcement that I have. So 2 things, actually 2 announcements. Last week, I told you guys all about our confidence building series that we have coming up called Conquering the Nose Challenge. So what we're going to do during the first full week of June is I'm going to show up here inside the Better Club for 5 days of training where I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know in order to get over your stinking fear of showing up. Okay, showing up and talking about your business. I'm going to talk about mindset. I'm going to talk about heart set. I'm going to talk about attracting the right people. I'm going to talk about how can you communicate so that it helps you stand out. And I'm going to talk to you about what the heck you do with those objections, those no's, those ignores, and how do you follow up without being spamla-tamala, right? So I'm going to teach you how to do all of that inside of the Conquering the Nose Challenge. If you want the free registration to that challenge and the workbook, just type comment, the comment challenge inside of the thread, inside of the Facebook group. So if this is what you guys want inside those of you that are watching on YouTube, you're going to want to head on over to the Facebook group, the Better Club, and you're going to want to grab your link to the workbook by commenting challenge inside of this thread. Okay. Now, the other thing that I wanted to announce, and I'm so sick and excited, is that inside of the Better Club, we have something that I have been sharing called the Better Club Elite. And what this is a membership that you get access to additional training, additional behind the scenes things, and additional coaching from me. Now, one of the things that we have is called the Unstuck Backstage. And that is an amazing opportunity for you guys to get a chance to hear directly from the experts that I bring on the show. Okay, so that you get a chance to ask them your own questions. You get a chance to have them possibly coach you. And it has been a phenomenal experience. So next Tuesday, we're actually going to be having, instead of my Better Club live, we're going to be doing our Unstuck Backstage. And it is going to be with Kellen. And you guys, anybody who watched or listened to that podcast, it is phenomenal. He's probably been one of, if not the most just impactful and fun interview that I've done on the Unstuck podcast. And it's been the most requested Unstuck Backstage. So if you want to have a seat at the table to be able to talk to him, I will, I can't say his name very well. It's like Flinger. I don't know. He's Canadian. He's amazing. He's awesome. Like I'm just going to give you a quick, like 2-second thing. He used to be a high level exec, like handling billion-dollar accounts. And he was running a lifestyle, you guys, where he was playing hard. He was living hard. And he ended up having kind of an awakening moment, a really hard moment. Like I will give you an insight. So he was telling me that his car, he was the guy with the 6-car garage with a fancy car in every single stall, right? He was the guy who said that his cocaine addiction, his weekly cocaine addiction was $3,000. And that was like lunch money. Like that's where his life was. And he had this awakening and now he travels, he speaks, he's written, I think 16 books, super, super motivational, like just on fire, you guys, next level. And so if you want to join me inside the Unstuck Backstage next Tuesday for our conversation and you want to get a chance to ask him questions yourself, you will not want to miss it. So put backstage in the comments inside the Facebook group if you want the link to look into how you can get there. I would love to see you. So, all right, you guys, have an amazing rest of your evening. And thanks for being here. I'm so privileged to have you inside the Better Club. And until next time, just keep being better, doing better, and having better.